Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, here we go. That looks good. Testing 1, 2, 3. Turn it up just a little bit. Okay, good deal. Here we go. All right. All right. Let's see. Bring the chat up. Okay. Here we go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Paint All the Things. So, hope to see you all on here in just a few minutes. We're going to be doing our monthly monster drawing, which I actually have 2 to go out tonight. And it could be we're going to do one at a time, but could be that both of them go to the same place even. Who knows? They are Remorhaz by Wizkids Games. And you can get a better look at these fellers on my Instagram page if you want. So feel free to check it out. Let's see what we want to do here. So, so I've been working on some tanks for my Iron Warriors army. So here are the Predators. So this one is the one with the auto cannon. I put a searchlight on there. I like that archaic looking searchlight. And I went ahead. I don't know if the Havoc launcher is supposed to be on this one or not. I don't know if this hydraulic stem I don't know if I made that too tall or not. I'm going to put some wires there to kind of dress it up a little bit. It still looks a little sterile. But I did get glue in that, so I'm not able to lift it up and down like I wanted to. But I didn't quite have the right size drill bits, so they were a little bit of a sloppy or tight fit depending on which end and what I was doing with it. So anyhow, that's the turret. I think that's kind of cool looking, but I want to put some wires running out the back of this and down this stem and into the collar there to make it look a little bit more, I hate to use the word realistic when it comes to 40K models, but that's what we'll say. And I need to sand up this right here around where I changed out the muzzle brake to that dragon head muzzle brake. So sand that, because I kind of reinforced that with some sprue goo. sprue goo is made by taking just your regular Tamiya extra thin cement, and then you just chop up little bits of sprue like that, little bits of pieces of sprue or unused bits that you don't, you know, scraps, offcuts of bits and the like. So you just dump that in there, and you get this gray slurry. If your polystyrene is gray, so yeah, so you can use it. And then, unlike regular Rhino front ends, you know, you usually have this. It usually looks like that, right? This is set back along closer in, and just kind of looks like that with that flatness there. Well, I had these two old front ends of the old style Rhino, and so I wanted to make them look a little bit more on the archaic side, because these are 40K Rhinos, not 30K Rhinos. And yes, there is a difference. The 30K Rhinos are a little more rounded as far as their hatches are round, their exhaust stacks are round. There's a couple of layers of armor that go over this top edge here. So yeah, there are some definitely noticeable differences. This part, the front glacis plate, instead of being flat and solid with just that visor on it, it's actually got two pieces that go up, two big slabs of armor on the front there. So anyhow, and then this one has the heavy bolters on it, as you can see. So yeah, just trying to put these bad boys together. And tonight we'll be doing our monthly monster drawing for Twitch subscribers. So if you are not subscribed to Twitch yet, you probably have about an hour or two. I don't know exactly when I'm going to do it. So I got that going. I just put notice out. So let's see. I'm going to also link it here in the Facebook. And we're going to share. To the Facebook. All right, so I'm shared to the Facebook. I'm shared to the Twitch. Instagram. Well, Instagram. Let me do something here real quick. Let me try this. Something I've never tried with the old Instagram here. Go live real quick. Hey Instagram, check it out. We are building tanks tonight. Here's Iron Warriors Predators, both the Annihilator and the Destructor. We're going to be doing las cannons, auto cannons, heavy bolters, and we're going to pick one of our lovely Twitch subscribers as the adoptive parent to these beautiful fellas. So why don't you go ahead and hop on over to Twitch and and see about subscribing. You might be able to get in on that. Or if you just want to watch the show, that's fine too. Hit YouTube and leave a like, share, and subscribe. Or hop over to Rumble and do the same. So hope to see you in chat. Come on over. So, and end. I wish I had the bandwidth and the computer that could handle it, and I would just. And I would just do the thing. So now it just discarded that live video. I don't understand Instagram as far as videos go. The one I made to promote this week's live streams just wasn't working last night. It wound up deleting somehow, and I had to redo. So that wasn't fun. So, all right. So hopefully we'll see some activity in the chat. Let me know when people get in, and hopefully one of you will be adopting a Remorhaz this evening. So let's see. Let me grab something to drink real quick. And I'm also going to... I got to put my visor on here. So give me just one moment. Tank. Enjoy the tanks. World of tanks. WHIRLED. World of tanks. I like tanks. In fact, I'll tell you a funny story about that. No, sir, Mr. Pumpkin. No, sir. Nope. That's a negative, amigo. Jeez. All right. Man, oh man, I tell you what, anytime you try to keep the cat out, he does get in. All right. Wet my whistle here. I think tonight's going to be sort of a longer stream because I'm starting a little earlier. I am starting a little earlier because the show that I usually watch on Tuesday nights is taking a break last week and this week. It's called Build, Paint, Play, and if you're watching on YouTube, definitely follow Build, Paint, Play. If you're not following on YouTube, you should go to YouTube and subscribe to Build, Paint, Play. It's a really cool little show, a couple hours on a Tuesday night. Um, join their Facebook group if you do the Facebook. And yeah, it's a really cool little community. It's got a couple of veteran industry gentlemen. One you may know, his name is Dave Taylor. I think everybody knows Dave. And his erstwhile Man Friday, Jake Krajewski, who is a longtime veteran of the retail space, the gaming retail space. Just fun times. They work off of each other well. They're an enjoyable couple of fellas to spend a couple of hours each week with. So definitely hop on over and check out Build Paint Play on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. So they're on a little break. So tonight I'm filling. I don't want to say I'm filling in. That would be very, very presumptuous. I'm filling a spot. I'm filling a place. I'm filling a hole. Filling a hole? Yes, I've dug a hole. Now I've dug a hole. I'm filling a hole, and just starting a little earlier. Usually I start after the show. After their show, I usually start just kind of an after party, really. I mean, it's a good time to do it. I'm already here at my desk, and I'm already in the hobby brain is going on, and kind of get that level of encouragement from watching Build Paint Play. It's kind of just, it's fun. You know, we got the peanut gallery, aka the chat function there during the live stream, and then of course the gallery review of people that have turned in pictures of beautiful painted models. So tell you, there is a wealth of miniatures, skilled miniatures painters. What in the world is that? Uh-oh. Did I just pinch a wire that I didn't want to pinch? I think I did. Excuse me. Sinuses have been bothering me over the weekend. Kind of kicked in on Friday. Getting a little itchy in the back of the throat there. 'Tis the season for sinuses and allergies and all that. So, all right. Enough gabbing, talking. Here we're going to clean this up. Get the cat hair off. He's in here, by the way. Pumpkin, where you at, buddy? Kitty. There you are. What's up, Pumpkin? Oh, you can go back underneath the shelves if you want. I just wanted to see if you were in here. All right, so we're just gonna clean up these wee little nubs off of the, what's it there? Move that back just a little bit. So, yep. So I hosted a paint and take a couple of weeks ago at the at Final Boss Con in Rio Grande, Ohio. That was kind of fun. Had good turnout. Probably close to 40 people went through. So it wasn't quite as much as last year, but it was still, I still had pretty good turnout for my paint and take event. But there were more people at the convention overall. So see if we can get a little more light down here on the subject. What I need to do is I need to get a remote monitor, like a nice little 7-inch remote monitor I can set up in front of me so that I can watch my camera stuff. Or watch the chat. Right now nobody's in the chat because I think it's a little early. I think people are used to me starting at 9 p.m. instead of 7 on Tuesdays. So, I may stream tomorrow night. I don't know. Hard to say. Depends on what time I get in from work. Tomorrow will be a little bit longer day for work because I had to kind of pull off what I was doing because the other crew needed to use the scissors lift today, so I had to go kind of find something else to do with myself. I had plenty enough to do, so no big deal. No big deal. I never feel bad about finding something else to do if I can find something else to do, you know. I mean, if it's justified. I don't want to just go and waste time. There's always something I need to do for another project, you know. So... estimates. I got one customer's being weird about an estimate, and I'm like, well, I gave it to you in writing. Text messages are if I send you an estimate in a text message, and you said it can be in a text message, then you want it in writing. Well, text message is writing. It is legally binding, just like an email is legally binding, because it has chain of custody. So, what are you doing, Pumpkin? What you beating up over there? What'd you find? Oh, what did you find? What do you got on? Oh, yeah, okay. I see what you're doing. Get out of there. He is in love with the feet on this this spice rack. He keeps on chewing. I forgot these things were in here. Well, I didn't forget, but come here. Come here, you. Come here, Pumpkin. He likes to chew those rubber feet off of that stupid thing. Come here. So the thing about cats is that their their digestive tract is designed to handle weird things like mouse bones and such. But they can get blockages and they can get perforations too. So, you know. So they can pass all that kind of stuff, but you got to be careful because if they've got something in their gut like that and you wrestle with them or roughhouse a little bit, it can cause perforations and blockages because it gets that stuff out of whack, or so they say. I don't know. And Pumpkin does like to roughhouse. He's a rare guy like that. He likes to roughhouse. So where I squeeze these two halves together, there's a little glue line here as well as just the parting line. So I'm trying to clean that up a bit. And then we're going to do some, I'm going to put some alternate muzzle brakes on these. So. I'm not too concerned about scratches and the like because the metallic spray paint tends to be a little on the weird side, so it kind of fills in some of those gouges and the like that sometimes get left behind with scraping off lines. And this blade is a little bit on the has had it side, so if I use the back, it actually works a lot better. But don't really need to worry about these muzzle brakes because they are coming off. Or are they flash hiders? They're probably flash suppressors because they're suppressing the flash from the laser cannon. Right? So. So in 2 weeks, I will be at Origins Gaming Convention in Columbus, Ohio, running games of Sail Power and Tech Commander for Sea Dog Game Studios. So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe I'll see some of you there. I heard that Buckeye Game Fest last week or week before last had a really good turnout for miniatures. It has been kind of a board game centric show over the last few years, but last year and this year particularly, Mike DeMena has worked really hard to bring miniatures into it, and he's a big historical miniatures guy. I don't know if there was any 40K or not. I think. Okay, here's an internet hot take, folks. You can clip this and you can use it in your video if you want. Here's an internet hot take. My hot take anyway. So 40K being what 40K is, the way the rules are written, I don't feel like it is a good game for tournament play. It's trying to be, and they're trying to appeal to the tournament players. But I think it would do better. And it actually started out as a game with a referee, or a game master, as they are often called in the colloquial term in gaming. So I think that really the best way to host a narrative game is to supply both sides, or 4 sides, or however many players you want to have playing. Provide the miniatures, provide the terrain, simplify the rules, and let people play a story game that you've devised, that narrative style play. The idea of playing in a tournament is something that appeals, I think, to newer players. But after you've been through the rinse and wash cycle of workshops, rules churn, I think I'd rather just have somebody to supply the toys, come up with a way to play with them, and just let us play. You know, all the there's a lot of things about 40K as a rule set that I don't like. It's very stop and go, very herky jerky. Now, some of you may be more adept with the rules than I am, obviously. So, comment down below. Comment if you're watching this and the VOD. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Am I completely wrong? Am I off my rocker? I want to know. What do you think? You think that narrative play with supplied armies, supplied toys, and simplified rules would go over well? Do you think that, or should you just stick to the plan? What do you think? So, hey Patty, how's it going? You still at work? It's about 6 o'clock your time, 5 o'clock, 5:40 your time. I think you're in Mountain Time, aren't you? I can't keep track of anything past Mississippi. I know. Missed the question. Oh, what time is it where you are? Still at work or just finishing up? Driving home? Don't drive and text. Oh, the question was about 40K. So I'm friends with a family that does some 40K participation games at Origins and Adepticon, and they take care of the open play area at Adepticon and provide terrain and tables for people to play on. Super nice folks. Smart. They're all engineers. The father of the family was a naval engineer, so that tells you something. So the first time I actually met them, I played in a participation game that they had set up. They brought all the toys. They brought all the terrain. You didn't have to bring anything. On your way to school, Pacific time. Yeah, so my question to the audience was, is it better to play the tournament style game or the tournament style game masquerading as a narrative game, or would it be better to host a narrative game, provide all the toys, provide the miniatures, provide the terrain, and tell the story that way, where there's no pressure, as well as simplifying the rules, just kind of boiling the rules down to their most important parts. You know, no fancy gotcha rules and the Fizbin rules. Just make it easy to play. Because that's one of the things I do have, I kind of hold against 40K right now, is going from 3rd to 5th, we had some really simple rule of thumb kind of rules. It was easy to learn and easy to play. But 6th edition hit and it got really weird. And then 8th, ninth, 10th came along, and it even got weirder. And I don't mean weird in a good way. I just feel like there's a lot of interruptions and clunkiness to the rules as they're written, and things that players can do, stratagems, which I just think are kind of silly. It's such a small, you're playing a company level game, that using something called a stratagem seems outside the definition of that word, or the way that word would be used as far as what I'm used to it in the military sense. So, which is better, to play with somebody else's toys in a quick and simplified manner, or to play in an overwrought? I mean, this is my opinion that it's overwrought. So, some people like that, but quick play versus too much fiddle faddle. Do I want to keep those skulls on there or not? I don't know. The skulls are kind of an imperial thing, but they are for chaos too, because these are going to be Iron Warriors. So I don't know. I don't know. All right, let me see if I can find those alternate muzzle brakes. But that's kind of the big question tonight is, are we, how do we feel about narrative play as a participation game versus narrative play in the sense of tournament style narrative, or narrative style tournament? I don't know, where everybody's just doing their own thing. Switch to OPR and play a 40k narrative? Yeah. Actually, I kind of solidified some ideas on the back of an envelope for my set of rules that I want to use. So, these clippers here, they're by Klein Tools. They're a flesh cutter. So I got those for $10 at the supply house. So Klein Tools makes hobby supplies. Well, no, they don't, but these are Klein's. Narrative play always, unless I'm specifically trying to complete. Yeah, that's true. But do you just pair off and go to different tables, or do you bring in all the toys and have kind of a set piece set up kind of a thing? Kind of like what we do with Sail Power. Nobody has models generally, so whenever we bring Sail Power to a convention, we let people play with our toys, and we know the rules well enough to. The rules are fairly simple anyway, for the most part. So the GMs, the game masters, basically just facilitate play as opposed to getting in the way. And it's not everybody's just fighting one another. There's really a lot more things you can do. So bring your own toys or play with somebody else's toys. If you want to have a scenario between Dark Eldar and Tau, you want to tell that story. Are you going to just rely on somebody to bring Tau and Dark Eldar, or are you going to supply them for the people that are going to be playing? Because maybe they might only collect orcs and uh, Space Marines or something, you know. Wait, an envelope? I was told that it's not written unless it's permanent marker on discarded cardboard. Well, the the Marines ate all the crayons, Patty, so I had to do something. I used a pencil. I'm high class like that. I used a pencil. There's a lot of merit to having tables set up with terrain and armies of the foam just to facilitate community. Yeah, yeah, I see that. I got that. I get that. But yeah, I mean, I like more the idea of having a simplified rule set where people can just pop up to the table and play and not get too bogged down though too. So I guess you kind of have to be there to understand what I'm talking about. I don't know. If you were doing it, how many tables do I have? Let's say you have one table. One table to tell your story. And you're providing all the miniatures. That's the thing. Is you're providing the miniatures, you're providing the terrain. You're providing the rules. You've taken the rules, you've boiled them down, or you've distilled your own rules that are simpler and faster playing, so to speak. You know, this is an interesting hypothetical, I guess. So I got some encouraging news at work today. So that's good. I can't say what it is, but it was encouraging. It's not something we're putting out a whole lot, but it was definitely something that was a long time coming. It's going to make life a little bit easier. But I've thought about having like say, I've got uh, I've got the sledgehammer howitzers or artillery guns from Reaper. They were by Victoria Lamb, and they were in one of the Bones Kickstarters. So I got 3 of those, and I was thinking I could do an artillery park on maybe a 4x4, and have that a separate game. You know, maybe in the other room, and have people. You know, you'd have to get orders to the artillery park for it to have an effect on your table in your room. But they'd have to be fighting. They'd have to be fighting a defensive battle to keep those artillery pieces safe. I mean, you could get, you know, I guess you could have 2, 3 tables, something like that. I mean, but I feel like a lot of them are just, a lot of narrative play tends to be more tournament style as opposed to let's put everything on one table and tell this big story. And then everybody, you know, there's people, they bring their army, which they may have it optimized for some cheese list, right? But if I bring it, I'm just going to give you troops and troops and troops, and your special characters are going to be rare and precious and expensive. So don't lose them. Don't put them in the front of the line. Have it all set up and ready to go. If somebody since brought their own army, I may politely tell them that the event is meant to show the game to new people. Yeah, and it could be even for experienced players too. But um, I wouldn't turn away an experienced player, but I would just be like, well, these are I've got all the miniatures because that's what the Hausmans do is they bring their collection and they set everything up and you just pick which force you want. So they had the first time I played with them, it was just after Apocalypse came out. And the big Dark Angels fortress thing, um, Doug Hausman had just barely the night before got it stuck together and spray painted it black and then spray painted it red. So it was just about the bog standard get it on the table quick paint job to get that thing on. But then again, it was terrain, and in my opinion, terrain is the background. It's not the main player. It's the stage dressing. We noticed the miniatures, not the stage dressing, so to speak. So that's my thought. I mean, you can get away with being a little sloppy with terrain, I think. And you can also go too far with terrain. I made a piece one time for Sea Dog that was almost too detailed to be used. Believe it or not, because I'd given Brian some terrain, and he says, "Oh, it needs more detail." Well, I took that to heart, and so the next piece I made, I put a lot of detail on it, almost too much. It was almost unplayable. A fairly big game. You could have three, four. You might have 4 or 5, maybe 6 people around the table. Let's say everybody had 1,000 points worth of troops or so, just because that's what supposedly is balanced. But you would have like your forces of chaos or your forces of ruin and your forces of order or law or whatever you want to call it. So maybe like Imperial Guard, Space Marines versus like orcs and chaos or something like that or the like. I'll never forget in that game. It was kind of funny talking to Mr. Hausman there, and somebody goes, he had a chain link fence set up on the map, and somebody was moving their troops up to it and said, is that chain link cover?" And Doug just looks at them like, "No, I can tell you from personal experience, chain link is not cover." So that was interesting. Tell me what you did in the Navy without telling me what you did in the Navy. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of more like, do you tell a story or do you let people play a modified tournament? And I think that's kind of the where I'm at, because the rules that I write are kind of simple. They're straightforward. Not a lot of faffing around. I don't like things that interrupt the flow. All right. Well, have a good time at class. You only got 2 more sessions before you graduate, right? Probably got a big final coming up, don't you? Come out to Ohio and work for us. I could use the help. Have a good one, Pat. See you later, man. All right, all right, all right. So we've cut off the flash hider ends on these las cannons. At least this las cannon, this set of las cannons. So the next thing to do is I want to give it a little reinforcement instead of just gluing it all right onto the end of that stem. I want to give it a little reinforcement. So I'm going to find the center of the that circle. We're close to it. We're not building a piano here, so I can be close. Be close right here. And get the small, it is small. We use the small pin vise and make a small hole for some small plastic rod here. And that's just to give it a little bit of strength. I mean, this is not the strongest plastic piece ever here. This would probably be stronger, but I don't have a drill bit that's exactly this size, so it's a little sloppy. So I think I won't use that. I'll use the skinnier. And then all that does is it gives a little bit of strength against shear forces. So if I just glued this like that, you've got a lot of surface area and it's great. But if I just trusted this while it's drying, I could probably shift it around. But if I've got this on here, jam that right in there. You don't have to do this. I'm doing this because it seems to work really well and helps you line everything up better. So cut that off, drill a hole there, slide that on there, and then glue it together, and it holds itself in place. And I don't have to fiddle with it, you know. So all right. So we're gonna go across here. That's about halfway up, and that's about half. Right in there. And doopa doopa doo doo doo. For crying out loud. There it is. So there's a lot of material in there. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to go all the way through. Drill out the ends of your barrels. Brah! Well, not always practical. Just like the just like the electric code says, sometimes you have to do things that are where practical or practicable. So, and yeah, here we go. Alright, so now that'll hold together while I glue it. So I'll get the other one prepped and ready to go. I need to trim my nails. Looks like it is that time. About time for a haircut too. Especially with Origins coming up, haircut wouldn't be a bad idea. Do 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 do. I don't know. I don't know how that's going. Pretty close. It's like it might be a little high. I think we'll go with it. We'll go with it. Close enough. Close enough for 3 feet away, right? One might need to be shifted over just a smidge. There's a little bit of spring in there. It doesn't want to stay straight. Maybe I should have done one at a time instead of both at the same time. It's funny looking at them straight on, they look straight, but when you look down, not so much. So I'm lining up the ridges on the head here, these little spikes, with that nub there and about the center of this line right there. So not that it actually makes these guys shoot any better. Still hitting on a 3+, but human eye can actually see thousandths of an inch out where things are not working right. I mean, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. I think it is a little bit of a lopsided casting as well. But all right, I'm going to put that in the, I'm going to clip that over here and let that sit and dry. Let that set up. And we'll go to the next thing here. So the next thing is going to be the sponsons. I might take a break here in a little bit. It's kind of would like to take a minute, but I don't really need to, other than just to not be looking at something so close. Eyes are doing weird things lately. I think I probably need to go in for some new glasses. Anyway, I'm just going to look at a couple of things here. See what's happening on the old Discord. See what's going on over here. It's funny, we've got a local convention's got a Discord, and I cannot. They've got a self promotion space, but it's locked up. Oh, here it is. Hey, how did that get in there? All right. Creative space. Interesting. But the file add section of that is not working. How can I show off my creative stuff if the file section is not working? Very strange. Oh well. All right. That's that. Discord, let's see what's happening on the Facebook. Anything? Nothing. Monster Fight Club's got some new terrain upgrades they just dropped. That's pretty cool. Oh, let's see. Anything else interesting? Ooh, nice Hot Wheels restoration. Let's see. What else we got here? Huh. Hey, Black Skull. How's it going? Good evening from your hotel room and portable painting space. Nice. Glad you can do that. I've tried to do the portable painting space, and it has not worked out really well for me. And sometimes my day goes way too long, and I get back to the hotel way too late to do much about it. So, but I'm glad you can do that, man. That's pretty cool. Once you figure out what you need to take and have a way to do it, that's terrific. I'm always concerned that my paints will dry up in the truck while I'm working, you know, before I can get back to the hotel. So, though I did get the cuttlefish colors to be my um, travel paints. So, but my go bag, I got the original Monument Hobbies go bag, and I will say it was great. But then the zipper gave out on me, and that's not so great. Have I tried hiring Sherpas to carry all my gear? We don't have any Sherpas in this area, unfortunately. Unfortunately. And I don't know how I would expense those either. The secretary would probably come down on me for expensing out Sherpas. So, let's see. Black Skull is a subscriber, so he is going to be eligible for tonight's drawing. So last month, Miar gifted a whole lot of subscriptions out to everybody. He gifted out 7 subscriptions, I think. So if you are a beneficiary of that and you're watching tonight, why don't you, if you're up to it, if you can do it, there's no pressure, no requirement, but consider paying that forward and maybe gifting somebody else a subscription as well. Share the love, so to speak. There is no obligation to do that. Just a thought. I'm just glad to have people here. So, I had one of my other electrician friends over on Rumble stop in here a few minutes ago. So that was cool. The paints, probably because all the good Sherpas became baristas. Yeah, right? The paints in my portable kit are very specific this week. I'm painting Rivenstone Oryx models, so I only have those colors I needed from the recipes. Yeah, you're doing the Oryx in that kind of that you're giving them that ochre colored skin, I think. Is that right? That's pretty cool. I like uh, I like alternate colored orcs and goblins. I thought about doing my 40k orcs in blue, but I started in on green. I was like, well, let's just stick with good old green. But I haven't really I've got 60 of them, the skin tone already done on them, so I feel like I'm stuck in a little bit too far to really change anything up at this point. But I always like the idea of blue orcs. Let's see. Yeah, that's what's the cards show them as. First time in a while I used box or card art as a reference. I put my own spin on it, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you always that's the whole point of painting, even with the box art, putting your own spin on it, developing your own style. And that's something that I do appreciate about you, Black Skull, is you've developed your own style. Um, like you and Bennett, Holy Fire them. Uh, you all have your own definite, distinct styles. You're not copying what other people are doing, and you're not beholden to whatever the rigueur du jour is. the newest thing put out there by some internet painting guru guy, myself included. I kind of figured my style is just average, average mediocre, you know. But what you are doing with that really loose style, bold colors, um, I really do like it. I don't have the brush control to do it like that though. My brush control, I'm I'm very much the color inside the lines kind of person when it comes to the way I do things. Um, so those those bold big strokes are kind of beyond my method. There's a new grab for your stream, the internet fad painting guru guy, right? Got a friend who may want his oryx to be blue skinned, like you suggest. Yeah, yeah, very cool. Um, I do like to paint blue, as you can see, and I think I've gotten pretty good at it. You can do so many things with blue. You can go light blue, desaturated light blue to dark blue to purple. Um, I did that blue dragon here a while back, and I was able to get a nice wet blend on his wings, because that's a lot of real estate. I can't do the Sam Lens thing where every little tiny surface, the teeny tiniest surface is all wet blended all. But you give me a big open space, like the Dixie Chicks, wide open spaces, um, and I can wet blend the cheebers out of that. But so nice Remorhaz. I have had one like that for years, and it's still sitting on my shelf in white primer. The blue and yellow is the traditional Monster Manual version. See, I didn't even know that it was blue and yellow. I didn't know that there was a traditional color for it. I didn't know there was a traditional color. I just kind of went with what felt good. And I've been painting a lot of snowy based sort of monsters of late, if you recall. And I've got stuff I've got to send out to people. I tell you, I just can't get the things done I need to get done sometimes. For lack of a better word, getting things done that I need to get done while I'm getting the things done that I need to get done. Anyhow, so tonight I'm doing a little bit different on the drawing, just to let you all know if you're watching. So usually I only let I only I only so usually what happens is we'll do the drawing, and a month would go by, and if you won the last one, you can't get the next one, but you could go for the leapfrogging basically. You can't get two in a row, but tonight you could get two in a row. So it is open season on Remorhaz tonight, because I got the dad and lad here. Say that 5 times real fast. That. Yeah, that's. I said five. I said that 5 times fast. That. Pretty good, huh? Not quite the tongue twister you thought it was going to be. Black Skull sitting there going, "Oh, this guy. Uh, so, but yeah, if you are a subscriber here on Twitch, you are in the running for tonight's big prizes. Will be be hitting the wheel of destiny here in a little while. Now I usually start my streams at 9, so I think some people are probably still counting on that to be the case. So it'll be a little later, probably another couple hours before we do that. But I started a little early tonight because I usually watch Dave Taylor and Jake Krajewski on Build Paint Play over on the YouTube, which I am multi-streaming to YouTube and Rumble now. So, for what it's worth. I want to try to expand my audience, so to speak. Mold line heck tonight? Yeah. Well, these are, these old workshop models, the Predator and the. And I'm real fastidious about mold lines too. Like, there's some people that just, but mold lines are just my personal kryptonite. I hate them. I mean, I don't need to get this one that's right back here, right? But I'm doing it because, I mean, I'm never going to enter this into a contest, so why do I care? But again, it's. Was it 110.c in the electric code book Black Skull? It says all work shall be done in a workmanlike and clean manner. So that's the difference between just somebody that's a worker and a craftsman, right? They take the extra time. If you've got it. I mean, sometimes you just don't have it. But even at my worst work is better than some people's best work. Not this, of course. This is just, average at best. This is for fun, but for work I try to be the best. And word gets around too. People call up they say, oh yeah, well, we need this done, and we heard you guys do really good work. So it's very flattering. It's kind of humiliating. Not humiliating, but yeah, the thing from Old Lines is just like yours for painting the underside of the minis. I know it's there, right? Yeah, I know it's there. I know it's there. But I mean, I kind of have that same philosophy with my day job too. Considering I'm an electrician, and you know what I'm talking about, Black Skull. You know how it is. There's that quality that we need to have. Because in my real work, my real life, that's people's lives. If it's not done right, that's property and life on the line. So it's just kind of a part of my personality is to do things, if I'm going to do them the right way. Which, what was that years and years ago? Bob Evans. If we don't do it right, we don't do it. Which Bob Evans' farm is only about 50 miles from here, where I'm at. In fact, that was up at Rio Grande, where we had the final BossCon a couple weeks ago, and I did a paint and take there. So that was right there. That was right there in Bob Evans' backyard, practically. Like, literally, you can make a right turn and go down the other road, and the Bob Evans farm is right there. But I remember those commercials. And my granddad was kind of that same generation, so if we don't do it right, we don't do it. And he and my dad were the ones that gave me Gave me my basic lessons in electrical work. So. So, got some encouraging news at work today, so that was good. I can't really say because I don't think that anybody else, there's that many people in the shop that know it. But I'm feeling a lot better about work these. I mean, just like it felt like a whole, it felt like a weight was lifted off of me. So that was good. That was a nice move by management what they're providing now. So. But I can't say much because I don't know who's watching tonight. You know, I don't think my coworkers watch my stream, but I can't say much about it. Maybe that's saying too much. But nevertheless, it is a good feeling what I heard today. So. All right. So let's go ahead and they paid all my old parking tickets. Oh, I hope to never have any parking tickets. At least not in a company vehicle. So, no, it's just they haven't sent the letters out yet about it, but I know what it is, and it's something that was a thing that was needed for a long time coming. So, and it's going to benefit a lot of people. Oh, get in there, you silly thing. But yeah, mold lines. I'm death on mold lines. I can't hardly stand them. I can't stand them. Open bar at work. Oh, if only. Actually, our boss is kind of a bit of a teetotaler, so unfortunately, no. Though some guys, you wonder if they do better with a drink in them, you know, as far as quality of work, getting them to show up, pay attention to what they're doing. Oh, doggone it. Oh, wrong. I'm an idiot. Oh. So I have adopted one of my older paintbrushes as a glue brush because it's got nylon hairs or nylons, you know, whatever that is. So I can put it in the old Tamiya. For some reason, this is kind of had it. It's not really working real good. I pushed it out and got some length on it, but it just the little brush in the Tamiya thing is not working great. So I just started using an old paintbrush, but I leave it sitting right on my water cup, and I keep on putting my glue brush in the water cup, and that I keep on just forgetting that you know, it's kind of a reflex action to dip my brush in the water as soon as I pick it up, you know, um, just because that's how we do. It's a second nature to me, and probably most of you who are out there painting. You just get that water on your brush, and you know, it just does what it does. Once again, it's just one of those things that comes second nature to me. Really, I'm not really worried too much about that because that flash hider's coming off anyway. But I want to have a nice solid bond on that barrel. And if I get a little bit of glue mark and squeeze up, it's okay because I can always sand it down a little bit. So let's see. It's very kind of you providing purpose for a senior brush that is little down on its luck, no splitting hairs with you, right? Yeah, you know, you want your brushes all to feel like they still are useful, you know, like they're meaningful. Even the old shaggy dogs. You know, it's good to provide meaning to the seniors. I'd say some of my brushes are probably old enough to be door greeters at Walmart. In brush years. So if there's like a brush Walmart, they're probably old enough to do that. What was it? The oldest cat in the world was like 38 years old. Died in her sleep. I just read that the other day. Wow. 38 years old cat. Sometimes turn brushes, let's see. Sometimes turn brushes where the hairs have spread into stippling brushes. Yep, that's a good idea. I have not actually done a lot of stippling with paint, but I read a nice little article the other day about a way to do it, and it made a lot of sense other than just like stippling to kind of feather your colors together. It was like doing this color out here a little bit and then this color that's out here, moving it back over onto this side of things. So it was a pretty good little article. I What's funny is you hear about all these methods, all these. I don't like the word technique. And Tommy Soul was making an interesting comment about the word technique one time, and I was like, makes a lot of sense. He's very circumspect and thoughtful in the way he looks at things. A lot of sort of, he's like the Zen style painter, you know. Um, if you check out his book, Art of Tommy Soul book from Dave Taylor Miniatures, um, it's a really good book. It's kind of it's not an instructable book per se, but it sort of is. Like you could take somebody who's never painted a miniature in their life and have them follow step by step in Tommy's book, and they'd have a nice product at the end of it. But Tommy, the way he wrote it was more getting you to think about the process. Why do you do what you do? How you do it? What are you doing? Very much more in the I don't know if I like the word mindful, sort of a way of looking at what you're doing at your hobby. But if you're interested in improving, everybody's always interested in improving. Um, Stippling is a good way to do rust on vehicles. Yes, I agree. I agree very much. Um, but yeah, Tommy's got an interesting way of looking at interesting way of looking at the world, I guess. If you want to go that far about it. And I don't mean that like it's interesting, like weird interesting, but he's got a unique way about him. That still sounds like a backhanded like non-compliment, but it's absolutely a straight up compliment. So, but yeah, he kind of the way he wrote his book was very much less about you must do things like this, and more like why do you do things like this? Reconsider your method, reconsider how you're doing things, and why you're doing things the way you're doing things. Are you doing things just because that is the way to do it? Or are you doing it because it works for you? Well, if it doesn't work for you, then don't do it like that. Hey, Dollar Dylan, how's it going? Good to see you again. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. So tonight we are going to be giving away these Remorhaz. So they might be going to the same place. They might go to different places because we're going to be doing both of them tonight on our giveaway. But in the meantime, until it reaches about that time, probably. Oh, it may be since I usually start at 9 on Tuesday nights. Most people are used to coming in a little bit later, so we're gonna give it a little bit more time. Let the anticipation build before we get into the drawing tonight. But in the meantime, I've been working on some Predator tanks for my Iron Warriors, and as you can see, these are the older glacis plates. So I chopped off the bits from and carved out the plate on the modern kit and added that old kit in, and I stuck the Havoc launcher up on a hydraulic lifter pole. I mean, this is probably completely illegal build or something. I mean, I don't know all the rules to 40K anymore. I don't know what's legal and illegal anymore. But I don't really care because I will play with my toys the way I want to play with. And I will play with the rules that I want to play with. Specifically the rules I'm trying to write for myself, which are dedicated to playing fast, playing large, give things a little bit more believability. You're not tied to the 17.3 step in six-sided dice. Troop quality will be reflected by the dice size. So I think I've got vehicle and anti-vehicle stuff worked out for it. So You'll do that, or you'll go home and watch Buffy. Pick up my ball and go home, right? All right, I'm going to let that glue set up a little bit longer. While I do that, we're going to go ahead and build the turret, not turlet. Turlet is what the plumber comes and fixes. And it's not a turret, nor a torrent. It's a turret. So how's Dollar Dylan doing these days? Well, that's a lot of D's. That's very, how's Dollar Dylan doing these days? So that's quite a lot of D's in that. It's almost, what do they call that? When you do that in your writing, where you use a lot of words that start the same way. I can't remember it right now. Brain's done. My brain is done. What is that? Not aphorism. That's not the right word. It's not affectation. What is that word? Doggone it. Alliteration, that's right, Black Skull. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You knew what I was laying down. Picking up what I was laying down. So Dollar Dylan says just working kid stuff. Well, that's important. That is definitely important. You got to work to be able to take care of the kids. Right? You gotta see they get to their ball games and the things they're involved with and the like. And everything. That is important. Probably more important than any board game or tabletop game or however you want to call it. I don't have a problem putting a little extra glue on things, as long as it doesn't get all over the place. And you can, here's a secret about plastic glue. If you've got scratches and scrapes and things that you just need to have go away, you can actually do it with your plastic glue. And it used to be that 10X7R was just the bee's knees for that trick. You could actually take care of all your mold lines with 10X7R and just run it over it. But 10X7R is such a hot cement. I think it was almost pure MEK. That they somebody got upset and I guess they decided to stop making it. Every bottle that I ever had evaporated before I could get to it, so you know it was hot stuff. Black Skull says, I would have been a bad parent. I'd make my kids mow the lawn, take out the trash, wash my car, and bring me toast. No, those are things that a good parent does. It teaches them responsibility, how to work hard, how to slave away in a thankless job every day. All right. That last cannon wants to dip, so I'm going to hold it there. I'm going to hold it there so that it doesn't dip. That's about how I was raised. Mow the lawn, wash the car. I don't think I ever had to bring my dad toast, though. But by the time I was 8 years old, I was making my own breakfast and doing my own laundry. But we were the feral children, you know. Gen X for life. What? Yeah, yeah. I may have to put a little bit of filler right there. That just doesn't want to. I guess I could squeeze it down a little bit. See how far I can squeeze that down. Doesn't like that ridge. Doesn't like the turret ring. Yeah, that just doesn't like the geometry there. All right, we're gonna let that set up. All right, all right, all right. Now, go back to the hull. We'll put the las cannons in the sponsons. Speaking of sponsons, I am sponsored by Dubby, an energy drink, and if you use my code Rocket Fuel, ROKKITFUEL, you will get 10% off of your first purchase at dubby.gg. So if you don't want to, that's a good way to support the channel if you aren't subscribing, but just the fact that you're here means a whole lot to me anyway. So there's my commercial to take care of the sponsorship part of the program. Not that anybody's ever taken up on it, which is fine. I don't really expect anybody to. I just thought I'd throw it out there just to try, just to say I have sponsor. I have a sponsor. But I think Dubby would probably sponsor a broom and dustpan, you know, a doorknob. Let's see. Then as my kids got older, I would have them mow other people's lawn for money. I get 10%, take out the trash, wash the elephant, and bring me the buttered toast. Right? I'm in the weird cutoff between Gen X and millennials. I was born at the tail end of 1980, so I identify with all the Gen X stuff, but I can also use technology. I grew up with corded telephones and being home alone. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I think that you have that whole overlap there too, Dylan. I think that overlap is, I mean, trying to just break off generations just by the year that they were born in. I mean, I grew up with all that stuff too. I was born in '74, so I'm definitely Gen X, but I'm actually really more the tail end of Gen X because Gen X was actually in the late '60s, I think. So it would have been really kids that were older than me would be more the Gen X. I remember seeing Time back in the 1990s talk about Gen X, and I was like, they had like people that were, I to me they felt like they were old because that was like, I think that article was like in 1992, and it was like kind of these hipster sort of looking people, black turtleneck, black wash jeans, Apple people, Apple personnel. Um, but no, I digress. Um, but no, it was like, okay, if those are Gen X, what am I? Because at the time it just looked like that's what they were, because they were like six in the. It was like people that were like, I don't know, 28, 29, 30, and I was what, 18 at the time when I read that article, so 92 I think. Late 91 or 92 I think that article came out. It was talking about, how Time Life always did. They would get an article like that. Societal commentary, sociology, societal commentary. Really, really honestly interesting stuff if you write it correctly. But no, I mean, Gen X and millennials are very. It's a very it's it's not super strict on where that cutoff is, especially if you were in the early '80s. See, my brother was born in '80, and I was born in '74. So, are we both Gen X, or are we both, or is he a millennial and I'm a Gen X? Hard to say, right? So, let's see. Weird cutoff. Black Skull is in the last year of the Boomers, born '65. Yeah, yeah. Basically, that I think that's probably about right, because that's 9 years before I was born, technically. So, well, not technically, mathematically correct, but what I mean is, um, it's right. It's really right in that weird place. But yeah, boomers, the boomer era. I guess if your parents were of the age to have fought in World War II, that's kind of the way I see it. You know, but there's really so much crossover between generations, especially if they're really close. Like Gen X, late Gen X, mid to late Gen X is so close to the millennials that it's really there's really no difference, quite honestly. At least no difference that really makes a hill of beans difference, because they're all close enough to have witnessed most of the pop cultures of the era, you know. Probably watched the same cartoons, ate the same nasty, sugary, icky cereal. I grew up on like my mom never really ever had like Captain Crunch and stuff like that in the house, but my friends did. So whenever I went over to their house, like I'd spend the weekend at my friend's house sometimes, because that's just what you do. Why not, right? Send the kids over to spend the weekend together. I mean, it was a completely different time. I don't think kids go to each other's houses anymore. You know, I don't know. I don't know what they do anymore. But we'd go and we'd spend the weekend at at somebody else's house, eat their food and pester their parents, and go and ride our skateboards and come home and play Nintendo. And I actually wrote one of my first games at my friend's house. We built Lego, cars out of Legos and festooned them with makeshift like weapons and stuff. And I wrote up some really quick little rules and made a grid. This die roll versus that die roll. You need this to succeed, kind of thing. And it was like that was kind of fun. Let's see. Cocoa Puffs, honeycombs, Count Chocolate kind of kid. Yeah, dude, they don't. It's so weird. My kids have never been to a sleepover. Yeah, yeah. I don't understand that. How do you make friends? How do you build friendships? Oh, you know what I did? I forgot to glue the gargoyle heads. I forgot to cut that off. I got talking and I got distracted. I distracticated myself, folks. Yeah, we'd go and play in the woods, and we'd take the canoe down to the lake. Now I'm gonna have to figure out how to cut these shrouds off and put those on. I mean, I know how to do it, but it's just gonna be extra work now. I distracticated myself. I got to waxing poetic here. Let's see. When I was really little, we had a cereal called Circus Kabooms, and it turned your turds green. Oh wow! I never heard that one. But my mom was in the more health food side of things, so the peanut butter that we got came in this big metal gallon container, looked like a paint can, and it was separated, and it had like peanut hulls, still not hulls, but peanut skins still in it. And I don't think it ever tasted really good. It was like separated, and you had to mix it up, stir it up, and we never had the Jif or anything like that in the house. We didn't, it was granola and grape nuts, puffed wheat, puffed oats, those kind of things. We never had white sugar in the house. Honey. We could put honey on just about anything if we wanted to. Um, let's see. Small affair with Frosted Flakes in my junior high years. Yeah. Puffed rice. Yeah, well, puffed rice was basically Rice Krispies, but Rice Krispies was just loaded with sugar. So, and puffed rice just by itself has a certain sweetness to it. So that was pretty cool. What is this? I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that link. See if I'll watch that later. So old, he says. Dollar Dylan says so old. Yeah, I don't know what that link is, but enjoy it. I assume that it's safe for work. So, all right. So I will. I'll have to fight these later on after that gets all set up. I'm not gonna fight with it while the glue is still curing. It's that cereal. Okay, it's a commercial for the Cocoa Kabooms or the Kaboom Circus Kabooms. Circus Kabooms. That's right. That's what it is. I don't remember that one. I don't remember that one. All I remember was we ate raw bits. And we listened to Garrison Keillor on Saturday night. And we listened and we watched PBS. We watched Jeremy Brett, Sherlock Holmes. Best Sherlock Holmes ever. I'm going to set this aside because I'll have to remember to fix those. Let me get a piece of blue tack here. But I wish I knew how to. Work OBS better so I could we could watch that, but I don't know how to do that. So, because I'm technologically not great with technological things. I guess I could if I had time to sit down and do it. But I talked with my boss today. I said, I'm trying to work 4/10s instead of 5/8s because I need an extra day on my life, on my weekends, to be able to do the things I need to do and I want to do. So he's cool with that. He's like, yeah, just put your time in and do, He's like, I don't care if you take a Friday off or a Monday off. Basil Rathbone is the best Sherlock Holmes. Well, I mean, he has a certain charm. I will give you that. I will agree. Basil Rathbone is very good. However, Jeremy Brett, I think, is much better, in my personal opinion. And you're allowed to have different opinions. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with you, Black Skull. I mean, you're more than welcome to have the wrong opinion. Just kidding. No, I appreciate that. A lot of people, and the thing is a lot of it depends on which ones you grew up with. If you watched the Basil Rathbone movies and you watched those growing up, then that is your Sherlock Holmes. I did not watch Basil Rathbone growing up. I've only recently started watching Basil Rathbone. You can have your opinion as well, though you'd be wrong. Well, Black Skull, we can both be wrong, and that's okay. If you want to be wrong and I want to be wrong, we can both be wrong. Let's be wrong together, Black Skull. Oh, matters of taste. There's a lot you can agree to disagree with on the matters of taste, And many things in life you can even do that with. Let's see. What do I want to do? It is quarter after. Keeps asking if I want to share that I've been subscribed for 11 months, but it doesn't share. I can't believe I've been following you for a year. Yeah, actually, it actually did share earlier. It said that you've been following for 11 months. So, almost a year. You're almost a year old. Dollar. So, and you've gotten a couple of the monsters out of it too. So you're in a pretty rare company there. So let's see. I know Miar has won a couple. I know DD Mini's won one or two. He got the big dragon. You got the troll, and you got something else I don't remember right offhand. Seems like I just painted you with not so long. Yeah. Well, GaboCon was just back in March, so I will give you. Let's see. I will give you your Bennett Holmes, but on the condition you admit that the Basil Rathbone Hound of the Baskervilles is the coin. You know what? I can agree with that, Black Skull. I can meet you halfway there. I can definitely meet you halfway because that Hound of the Baskervilles that Basil Rathbone did, that one was super creepy. Oh yeah, the ice salamander. Right, right, right. I was just looking at that today on the Instagram there, Dylan. But yeah, I tell you, there used to be, of course, growing up in the college town, we had the NPR radio station there, WMKY, and there was the Mind's Eye Theater, and they did the Star Wars, and they did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and they did Sherlock Holmes. And the only thing probably creepier than the Basil Rathbone Hound of the Baskervilles was the Hound of the Baskervilles that they did as a radio play from Mind's Eye Theater. And I'll tell you what, I think I was 6 or 7, maybe, when I listened to it. 7, I think. And that absolutely freaked me out. It was creepy, dude. Super creepy. Because it's all in your head. You know, they're describing the Moors, and it was just like, whoa. It was awful. Not awful. It was awful good is what it was. All right. So what time is it? It is 9:15. Let's go for another half hour. Not half hour. Sorry. Let's go till the half hour mark. Let's go to the half hour mark before we do our drawing. And let me get things kind of lined up here. So I'm going to start getting some things ready for the drawing. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to find the wheel of names. Random name picker. And we're going to go to Twitch. And we're going to look over here. And I'm going to find my list. Find my list of subscribers here. Yeah, let's see. It is it's over here. I can never find. I know where it is, but I can never find it. I know where it is, but I can never find it. That's just a totally hypocritical. That's a totally hypocritical statement. I know where it is, but I can never find it. No, that's the followers list. I don't want the followers list. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. let's see. Where is that? All right. So I'm going to get the subscribers' names out here, and we will do that here at the 9:30 mark. So it'll be a couple of minutes. Just bear with me. Yeah, Dylan, I have had a very erratic schedule due to work lately. Work and health and just everything. You know what was funny is I went to Adepticon and I was feeling fine after I came back. About 2 weeks later, I got something really awful in my chest, and I was I was down for almost 2 weeks. That was awful, and then my supervisor that I used to have last year, he left for greener pastures before Adepticon last year actually. So he's been gone a year, and my workload has just been nonstop. So it's been basically like 250% more work than I usually had. So I was actually getting trouble calls while I was at Adepticon, and I just kind of ignored them. There were people I just couldn't get to. So let us open sesame. Let us see the subscriber list. So yeah, Dollar Dylan, it's last month or so has just been pretty erratic, and I apologize for not being on, but I have tried to keep everybody informed as to what was going on. Been working long, lots of work. Kind of coming home a little too exhausted, a little wore out. So things have been a little crazy. So I apologize for not being more. Hey, 345 followers. Appreciate that. Whoever just followed. Let's see. Somebody just followed. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Somebody, Michael Paints Minis followed me. Hey, Michael Paints Minis, thanks for the follow. Appreciate the shout out too. Terrific, terrific. Really great. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So appreciate that. Rating with party of 17 viewers. Hey, Michael Paints Minis, welcome in. Welcome, 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 Raiders. Just want to let you all know I'm glad you're here. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate it. Really appreciate 17 Raiders. So tonight, hey Monster Den, how's it going? So tonight is of course the subscriber perk, and we're going to be giving away to our subscribers, our erstwhile supporters, the channel supporters, these two Remorhaz by Wizkids Games. So we got a dad and lad here. So how it works, usually how it works is if you win one, you can't win two. You can't win 2 months in a row. But tonight, if you are a subscriber, you will be put in the drawing, and you get a chance at both of them tonight, basically. So Monster Den recommended me, so had to pop over and follow before I rated. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, well, I enjoy painting. I'm glad they're wonderful. I try. I try. So I appreciate that. Jose, he says. So excellent, excellent, excellent. So appreciate the follow, appreciate the raid. Absolutely, absolutely. So in about 4 minutes, we're going to be. I'm going to put the names in here on the wheel of names, and we're going to put the wheel of names. Let's see. Some of these are already in the queue here. So give me just a moment, and come on now, computer. There we go. All right. Oops. Just transferring these names over. There's probably an easier way to do it, but like I said, I am not technologically adept. I am definitely not technological adept. I'm not adeptus technologicus. And I probably could have had more of this going on, but all right. All right, let's look back over here at Twitch. See if we've got any new subscribers for this evening. So no new subscribers, so we're gonna go ahead and yep. Oh yeah, the Remorhaz are pretty. It was a fun paint actually. Michael paints minis. Appreciate that. It is a good monster. It was fun. It was a little challenging because the way the legs are, but I really enjoy doing snow bases as well. Maybe you can tell. But the last few monsters I've done snow bases on. So and so I used a combination of Vallejo foam snow. So that's kind of an effect paint. But sometimes it doesn't have enough loft. So then I just used the, I must have put it back already. Then I used Army Painter Snow Flock and just kind of sprinkled it over. And it kind of gives a nice effect. Kind of gives a little more volume. And a little slushy. Because of the translucence of the Snow Flock from Army Painter, it gives a little bit of a slushy effect too. So, anyhow. Alright, so if there are no more subscribers right now, we're going to go ahead and hit the Wheel of Names. And we're going to find out who is going to adopt the... So chat, which should we do first? Should we do... Hold on just a second. I hit the doggone wrong button here. Small one. Small one. Dollar Dylan says small one. So we can do the small one first. Any okay, we got two people agreeing for the small one first. Small one first. So if you are a subscriber, you are in, and we'll be doing the small one first. So we're going to do the Wheel of Names. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pull it up. Makes it feel for the large one to go last. Yeah, okay. All right, so here we go. We're going to click to spin. Here we go. Around and around and around. Black Skull. Black Skull gets the little one. All right. And we're also... So Black Skull got the little one. So now I'm not taking anybody's names off tonight. Like I said, usually only get one every other month. One chance every other month. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that again. So he has a chance of getting both of them. Rigging of the technology finally pays off. You knew that low voltage that low voltage work was going to come in handy one day, right? Rigged Monster Den says. All right, let's hit this again here. Here we go. Scoot. Looks like it's Scoot HQ. All right. So Scoot HQ. That was one of Miar's gifted subscriptions out there. So we'll send a message to Scoot HQ. And let whoever Scoot HQ know that they've got the big one. So, very cool. So, Black Skull, I will be sending that out to you. You can send me your address if I don't already have it. I think I don't have it. Or maybe I do. Well, send it to me anyway. You can hit me up in the DMs on the Discord if you want. So, Scoot HQ has got that. So I will send Scoot HQ a whisper. If they even watch Twitch anymore, it's hard to say. But out of 345 followers, we've got 11 viewers tonight. So that's pretty cool. So thanks for being here. We're going to keep on painting tonight. We're going to keep on painting, keep on playing. And I'm going to write that down, Scoot HQ. So Scoot HQ got the big one, and Black Skull got the little one. All right. even more things to send out on top of this pile of things I need to send out. Right. Terrific, terrific. And folks, don't feel bad if you're not subscribing and you didn't get anything tonight, obviously. This is for subscribers. It's a perk for them because they're helping keep the lights on. Yeah, Black Skull, you'll have a matching set. Yeah. Yeah. So, I do, if you're not following right now, I would invite you to follow because we do. Hey, Blades81, how's it going? We do other giveaways throughout the year for followers in general. So definitely you'll want to be here for those as well. But join me every week for hobby hijinks. So this is something I've been working on here. So I put a little plastic disc underneath them, and it is the idol from the I think it's the Blackfire Pass, whatever 6th edition or 7th edition Warhammer was. That's the Goblin idol. So I got a little more work to do on that. So yeah, we let anyone in here. We're not too discriminatory here. So, yep, Dollar Dylan's won twice. How's Blades doing? Good to see you. Glad you made it in. Glad you could stop in. And, let's see. Otis must have given Ed the night off. Ed is in Cedar Rapids. Oh boy. Good. Missed the draw. Gave someone else a chance. Right, Blades? Right? Yeah. Very true. Very true, Blades. You should have been in. You're not, like, it doesn't count you as a subscriber. You have Prime membership. So, any channel you watch with your Prime membership, you actually are contributing. So I don't know. I was just going off the list that it gave me. But yeah, oh well. Gave somebody else a chance to win. Blades is about the winningest person I ever know. Oh, you have to renew it every month. Oh, okay. Well, yes and no. You can actually pay for... So, you can actually pay for Twitch Prime. And basically what that does is that means you don't necessarily have to subscribe to each channel, but you just avoid having to watch commercials all the time. But every channel you watch gets a little taste of the egg. Did win on Ed's stream the other night. Well, there you go. But yeah, there is the one you have to renew every month. Yeah, okay. Monster Den says Twitch Turbo. Yeah, I'm talking about Twitch Turbo. I'm not talking about Prime. But I don't know. I'm not sure how that shows up, but it shows up like Blades has a little crown by her name, and Monster Den's got a crown by his name, and let's see, Black Skull's got a crown by his name. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it all works. I just guess. I'm just glad to have people show up and watch the stream, hang out in the chat. So my Amazon Prime is attached to another login, dang it. Oh, yeah. Understand. But yeah, that's how that goes. So what do you say we go ahead and start doing some painting again here? Let's see, judging by the purple star. Oops. I'm the old man here. Yeah, 11 months. Actually, Dollar Dylan, Miar's got you beat. Miar has been subscribed for 14 months. So I watch the stream backwards, so you get to see JP unapply paint and unrid mold lines. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's one way to do it. And see, Black Skull's just the kind of guy that would do that. So, all right. Well, we're letting the glue to dry. So I've been working on some Predator tanks for my Iron Warriors, and I completely goofed up tonight and stuck the sponsons on before I replaced the flash hiders on those. So I did these all right, but I forgot to do the ones on the sponsons. So that happens. I was getting excited and talking and enjoying everybody's company here because this is great. We've had some good people stopping in tonight. I really appreciate them being here. So while I let that glue dry so I can remedy my mistakes, we're going to go ahead and do a little more work on this thing, I think. So, all right, let's get some paints out here. Pick up some colors. Let's see. Shields. What have I got to paint here? Oh, so I was doing some dry brushing, as you do, and I don't know if you can see it, but there are some little flecks of black that went flying over here, and I need to remedy those before I go too much further, I think. So he ain't here. Yeah, Miar's not here tonight. Captain Planet. Thank you, Miar. That's a good idea. I'm going to change the water. So, changing water. That is Captain Planet. By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. All right, changing water. All right, good call, Dylan. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Definitely needed to change the water for sure. Go Planet! Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, so that's the prompt that reminds me to change the water. All right, so I'm going to clean up a little bit where I got some black paint splattered up there when I was dry brushing. So let's see, let me bring up the other chats. I've got a YouTube chat, and I've got a Rumble chat, so I can watch those while I'm watching that chat too. I got to figure out how to use Social Stream Ninja actually. So So now that we're up to 345 followers, I want to just remind everybody that I do have a giveaway that I want to do at when we hit 400. I have a box copy of War Crow to give away when we hit 400 followers. So again, like I said, I do other I do have general follower type giveaways as well, so you're not beholden to necessarily have to be a supporting member of this channel to benefit from giveaways. Only there are some focus giveaways for subscribers. So, all right, I'm gonna get some orange and a little yellow, and I'm going to hit that yellow and orange right there. Hit just a touch right there. Cover up some of those little flecks of black that decided they wanted to do their own thing. And yeah. And then just build up a little. We'll just blend a little yellow right there. Maybe right there too. Put just a little hot spot of yellow there, and maybe right there. A little bit there. And before that gets too polymerized up, I'm going to go ahead and put a little mix of a little yellow right there. Hot spot that. Yeah. So, that's cool. And then we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of this. This is still golden yellow. This is like the darker yellow. Now, I have right now in my Pro Acryl setup 2 different yellows. This is golden yellow, which is a little bit more of a robust, deeper yellow. And I have from the Louise Sugden Rogue Hobbies set a bismuth yellow, which is much brighter yellow. So I don't know if you can see that out there. This is a little more darker. This is a little more brighter. So this is bright and cold. This is darker and a little bit warmer. So this is a cold yellow. This is a warm yellow. But the cool thing about the Louise Sugden, the Rogue Hobbies Pro Acryl set, if you get a chance at it, if you are brave enough and want to experiment with actually mixing your own colors, those 6 colors you can actually get all the colors, like every color in the world. Also, Pro Acryl has just released a artist set of colors, of paints, artist paint line. So that's pretty nifty. So we'll just put a little yellow there. But yeah, if you want to build your community, hosting a paint and take is a really thing to do. And even if you don't necessarily even have to have a convention to go to host a paint and take, coordinate with your local library. Get a hand, talk to your friendly local 3D printer, and see if you can get them to print out you a handful of minis, a couple of handfuls, and just go right at it. take some paints. Saturday afternoons are always good. They're always looking for things for kids to do, and teen programs. The local library here where I am actually has an adult, adult meaning grown up, not the other adult. They have a RPG session on Saturdays for grown-ups to engage in. I think they also have it during the week. I think it's on a Monday night. But yeah, they. But like I said, it's a good way to build your hobby community, your local community, get people interested. And if you enjoy the hobby and you want others to enjoy it, pass it on. Pass on your passion. All right, I'm going to use a little tinny tin here. And I'm going to go over some of the metal bits on this. I like to start off with a deep color. This is kind of a deep bronze color, which is a good color for working up to gold with. So wonder if chat's frozen here. Doesn't look like it. Interesting. I got all my chats popped out. Maybe everybody just snuck off, I wonder. No, we still got quite a few people here. So 9 of you watching. Thanks for sticking around. So I'll just keep on chatting here. Keep on talking. I'll keep my end of the conversation up. So I'm just gonna take this tinny tin. It's kind of a bronze color here, and we're gonna go right over the brown here. This is I like to undercoat. I like to actually use brown as an undercoat a lot of times. I guess I'm just a weirdo like that. I find it gives things a little bit more of a life feeling. Just sitting here and listening. Sorry. Oh, you're fine. I just didn't see the usual suspects giving me grief. Just thought I'd fallen off the end of the earth for a minute, but I'm glad to see everybody's there. You don't have to be in the chat, or you don't have to be super active in the chat. I'm just glad that you're there. I just didn't know. I didn't see anything moving up, so I was a little concerned that I was a little concerned that things got frozen for a minute. That's really all. Because I've had that happen before where the stream freezes up on me. So, but anyway, I'm using Tinny Tin from Vallejo's Game Color line, which I don't know if the Game Color line has that, but it's kind of a dark bronze. Pro Acryl has a similar color. I believe it's actually called dark bronze because, unlike other paint lines, one thing that is great about Pro Acryl is they give you the actual name of the color. They're not trying to be edgy. You know, they don't call their bright green snot flinger green. You know, it's bright green, bright cool green, bright warm green. Army painters started to do that with giving actual color names as well as their gamer name on their Fanatic line. And let me tell you about Bear Cavalry paints. Bear Cavalry paints are out of Pacific Northwest. I tried them at Adepticon. They have excellent whites and excellent yellows. So really great coverage over black even, with really not much in the way of chalkiness, if anything. I was surprised at how smooth they went on. I was I was a bit flabbergasted, really. I didn't know what to say because it was such excellent coverage. But my problem is I'm investing in one paint line. Do I want to change horses in midstream? That's kind of a weird thing, right? What exactly is a phthalo? Wizard's butt? Wizard's butt. I got the red wizard's butt. They had red and green this year. Let's see. What exactly is a phthalo and what's it doing in my greens and blues? I don't know. You'd have to talk to old Bob Ross about that. I like that though. What exactly is a phthalo? Isn't that game with Master Chief, Phthalo? Wasn't Phthalo Green part of? Didn't he do that song Crazy? Wasn't that Phthalo Green? Oh, CeeLo Green. Phthalo. Don't think Bob is going to be answering. No, I wouldn't want that'd be really creepy if he did. Phthalo refers to a group of synthetic organic pigments based on phthalocyanines, specifically copper phthalocyanine. Learn something new every day. Yeah, well, Ed, since you are stuck in Grand Rapids, I guess that's all you can do is find out the definitions of phthalo. Nice job, sir. Monster Den Minis is going to be our oracle of knowledge for the evening. So now we all know what a phthalo is. Which makes sense, because if phthalo is in blue and green, if you have phthalo blue and green, you're using that copper to get those colors. So a lot of colors do come from oxidized metals. Lapis lazuli blue. That's actually a gemstone or a semi-precious gemstone that is crushed up to make lapis lazuli. That's why blue was very expensive at one time. Blue was at one time the most expensive pigment. And red was actually very inexpensive, which is why the British Army used red in their jackets. Worst, Cedar Rapids. Oh, Cedar Rapids, not Grand Rapids. I'm sorry. The closest restaurant to my hotel is 15 minutes. Oh my. Wow. Sounds like a DoorDash night. I've DoorDashed when I was working over in West Virginia. I was actually I worked really hard and I got really sick because I kind of exhausted myself. I literally worked, oh man, it was like 70 hours between Monday morning and Thursday evening. Because I actually pulled an all-nighter. Had to get a line in, and it was too far out. Couldn't get help. Anyway, long story short, I was sick, so I stayed in the hotel room for an extra day. But I ordered DoorDash to my hotel in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia. Of all things. It wasn't really called middle of nowhere. It was But it might not have been the actual middle of nowhere, but it was close enough you could see the middle of nowhere. But yeah, that's they really got you out in the stick. Sounds like their Monster Den. You'd be surprised how what kind of places people are doing DoorDash. So you might be able to make use of that. But I was on another job and it was kind of like that. There was a hotel and there was a restaurant right next to it. And if you wanted to go to any other restaurant, you had to drive into town, which was like 20 minutes away. So tell me that wasn't planned. The places that you go when you work on the road, right? You find people in places you never knew existed. But I do a lot of times when I work out of town, I will see if I can find a local game store and at least try to stop in and say hello. Not that it means anything, but sometimes you find some cool stuff because there'll be old things on shelves, that you wanted as a kid and you couldn't afford, and so you kind of let the nostalgia take over. But yeah, there's a lot of times, lots of times I'll find a little game store that you wouldn't even think was out in the middle of the sticks, but there it is. See, I should probably do this chain in Rust. I should probably do that in Rust. That'd be interesting. Go with a dark brown. Get a rust brown. I've got a rust brown here somewhere. Right here. Dark Rust. Dark Rust by Vallejo from their Panzer Aces line. Oxido Oscuro 302. So I'll get some of that. And we'll paint dark rust on those chains on that skeleton. And we'll work it up. So, the chain around this dwarf skeleton, I think, we'll start out with dark rust. I'm really enjoying this particular paintbrush. It is a Master's Touch round number 2. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby for like 75 cents. So, though I think there's some people don't like Hobby Lobby for, they have their good reasons, I guess, but sometimes when you live in a certain place and that's all there is, sometimes that's all you can get. So, but it is what it is. Oh, looks like I forgot to paint the wood color on the back of this spar here. Weird. Alright, what is missing yet? So that's that metallic there. I'm going to do a little bit of silver on that rust. I'm going to add a little bit of orange to that rust. Because old rust is dark, new rust is light. And rust goes from a dark, dark brown to up to a yellow, depending on what is in the iron. Aluminum oxide is actually white. Starts out clear. But aluminum also oxidizes. Titanium oxidizes. And we know that's white because that's where we get a lot of titanium oxidized paint. Titanium white paint. So that makes that look a little bit better. Hey, Quantum Reveries, how you doing? So Black Skull won a Remorhaz, and we have another one of Miar's gifted subscribers. Miar did a gift subscriptions here a month or so ago, so somebody that has evidently been here before is going to get one as well. So the Remorhaz are going out. And I have things to send out to you too, Quantum. I know that. And I apologize for all the delays in getting things out. Things are crazy sometimes, all the time. But I got things going. I've got things arranging at work where I'm going to be able to start having a day off a week. Got my schedule worked out. Talked to my boss. He's okay with me working my schedule for 4/10s instead of 5/8s. So hopefully that will give me a little more energy and a little more time to take care of the things I need to take care of. Being a good employee, Ed, I would like to escort you to Taco Bell. Nice. Good thing I'm hungry. You have to be hungry to go to Taco Bell. Alright, I'm going to get some pale sand here. Use this color. I use pale sand for these ropes and tie downs. How's Quantum Reveries tonight? Hope you're doing well, as can be. So I'm just working on this painting. I've been working on some Predator tanks for my Iron Warriors. So I got distracted and I forgot to put the monster faces on the Sponson las cannons there. So I've got them just blue tacked there just so I can make that adjustment at a later date. And let's see. Here's the other one, the autocannon style, and I threw that Havoc launcher on there, which I don't know if that's legal or not, but it looks cool, right? So I wanted it to look a little archaic. So let's see. Doing fine. My day off has been taking wife to her infusion appointment, getting a late birthday ice cream at Wendy's, and leftover Rogaine. Well, I guess there's worse ways to spend a birthday. Um, did you ever see Demolition Man? Yes, I have seen Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone. The three seashells. Take this job and shovel it. That's where the Taco Bell reference comes from. Okay, okay. I got you. I got you. Yeah, Taco Bell, the only restaurant to survive the Great Restaurant Wars. What I thought was funny was Dan Cortez was the crooner there. I don't know who Dan Cortez was at the time, but at the time he was all over every bit of media. He was just the. He was on MTV Sports, and because that was a thing, and he was in Demolition Man, and he was just a media darling. I don't know where he came from or what he was doing, but I remember Dan Cortez being everywhere. He played the piano player, singer guy there. Also learned that you can reproduce wall spackle texture with wall filler, water, and a toothbrush. Hands-on experience. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That follows. Seems like everybody got old this week. I think I think Joe McAuliffe, Painterly Git, got old this week. Dave Taylor got old this week. We get old 1 year at a time, seems like. Who else got old this week? That's three people. Quantum Reveries got old this week. It's like everybody getting old this week. What was everybody's parents doing in October? Why October? Very strange. He sang the Jolly Green Giant song in the piano bar. Right. He said spackle texture. Giggle. In the valley of the giant. In the valley of the Jolly Green Giant. Oh, oh, oh. Yep, that's a great song. Chart topper. It's an oldie but a goodie. Quantum Reveries is now the big 6-0. Well, you survived another one. It's weird getting old, isn't it? Survived another one. Black Skull turned 6-0 in September. Well, that's bound to happen. What was it? You ever watch Warren Miller ski films? Anybody out there? I always liked what he said at the end. He said, if you don't do it this year, you'll be another year older when you do. So, just remember, folks, you're going to get old. And one day what happens, here's what happens, is one day you wake up and you say, where did all the time go? What happened? What happened? I'm 51 and a half now, and I'll tell you what, I look back and I go, what happened? That was how long ago? That was, what year was that? Oh, wow. You know, because a lot of the things that we hold dear, a lot of people that we hold dear, and activities that we've engaged with people, you know, trips we've taken and things we've done and friends we've made and friends we've lost, even, unfortunately, sometimes. You think back, and when you were there, it felt like time was never going to go anywhere. It felt like nothing was going to ever change. Then one day things changed, and then you woke up and things really changed, and things hurt. There's a little bit of gray on the roof, if there was anything on the roof at all, you know? You say, what happened? When did this happen? Hey, Gel Tip, thanks for the raid. Appreciate that. Orcs Paint Shop, rating with party of 3. Hey, thanks for the raid, Orcs Paint Shop. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome in. So, tonight was a special night on the channel. I finally got sort of semi-caught up on the for my subscribers. What I do is I do a monthly monster, and so we drew off for these beautiful cuddly beasts here. So those are going to go out to a couple of subscribers. But if you're not a subscriber, if you follow, I also do follower drawings. And when we get to the 400 mark, I'm going to give away a Warcrow box set, which I've been trying to get to 400 for a while, and I brought that Warcrow box set back home from Gen Con last year when it was the new hotness. So, Warcrow box set, when we hit 400 followers, we are at 345 right now. So help me get to 400 and we will do a drawing for the Warcrow box set. Then at 500, I have something really special lined up. And if you were watching a couple of months ago, I kind of let slip what it's going to be. But I can tell you, it is a pretty neat little care package I've got cooking up for at the 500 follower mark. So that's the Twitch side of things. On Rumble, it'd be nice to get to 100, and we're at 75 followers, 75 subscribers over on YouTube as well. So YouTube, I also do videos, some produced videos. I've got some edited videos. I've got some to work on yet. So I've got two of them, but they're not really evergreen. Well, they sort of are. I guess the Adepticon prep video is sort of a evergreen one, but it's not your usual kind of get ready for convention episode. It's sort of a different one. So thank you for the follow. See, chat is paused due to scroll. 4 new messages. Come on. So we just had another follow. Come on, computer. At 500 followers, JP jumps Snake River Canyon in one of his Kit Bash tanks. Oh, work robot set. Yeah. Hey, Severamonto, welcome in. So, let's see who followed. I got a follower over here, and I can't tell. Let's see. Severamonto followed me 2 minutes ago. That was you. Thank you for the follow, Severamonto. Appreciate that. I have all my chat screens open up here, and it kind of obscures some things from time to time and doesn't show me everything that needs to be shown. So appreciate the follow, Severamonto. Absolutely. Remember, folks, you can support your favorite content creators for free just by giving them a follow, a like, and a share. So support is free. There are also other ways to help grow the channel, but every person that follows feeds the algorithm and helps encourage us to do more of what we're doing. So, all right, great. So hopefully I will be worthy of your follow there, Severamonto. And you will be able to come in and hang out, and we will talk about hobby and hobby shenanigans. Sometimes even just life in general. Welcome to the Pocket Dimension, where all the women are strong, the men are good looking, and all the children are above average. No, that was Lake Wobegon, sorry. That was something else completely. Remember, I was talking about listening to NPR growing up. Where all the children bring me buttered toast. I think Black Skull wants some buttered toast tonight, folks. So if anybody's near Black Skull, can you DoorDash him over some buttered toast? Man, actually, that sounds really good. Who's that? Who is Garrison? Who is NPR? Garrison Keeler. Let's see. He used to do a show called Prairie Home Companion that was kind of a variety show, kind of a callback to the early days of radio. So they would do all sorts. They would have musical guests and he would tell about this fictional hometown called Lake Wobegon, and it was very, very enjoyable. I think you'd probably find it on YouTube. I'm sure somebody has an unauthorized upload out there somewhere, as they do. So, Black Skull is in the chat there. That's who I was talking about a minute ago, I think. Oh, interesting. I'm from Germany, so never. Okay. Well, great. We've got a guest from Germany. Terrific. Glad to have you here. So, what do you paint over there in Germany? Are you a scale modeler, a Warhammer guy? Are you painting mostly miniatures for RPGs, or what are you? What's your particular what would you call it? What's your particular flavor of miniature engagement with the miniatures hobby? Currently, some Blood Bowl gnomes. I paint wargame minis and some bust display minis from time to time. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, do you have an Instagram or anything where I can follow you and take a look at your stuff? Because we're all about building the community here and engagement with people that stop in and say hello and grace us with their presence. Saramoto Garrison Keeler is a National Public Radio personality. Yep, there you go. Let's see. Let's see. Let's get a little bit of a chocolate brown here. Monster Den is falling asleep. Hey, thanks for the bits, Monster Den. Terrific. Wow, that is generous of you. Thank you very much, Monster Den. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Sleep well. Work hard tomorrow. And grace the stream with my presence only when JP lifts the restraining order. Black Skull, you are a rare treat, my friend. The leader of the peanut gallery. That is great. Yeah. Hope Cedar Rapids there treats you better there, Ed. All right, let's see. Let's get a little bit of a khaki tone. We're just gonna. I missed a spot on the spar that dwarf is chained up to, so trying to do a little damage control, fix that wood there so it looks like wood. Remember to check for children under the bed before you go to sleep. Those can be kind of scary. Remember to check for children under the bed before you go to sleep. So true. So true. They also hide in the closet. It's very hard to match a color once you've set a project aside for a little while. But that's okay. We will see what we can do here. If I have to recolor the whole thing, then so be it. We're just trying to get a feeling of it being wood as opposed to metal or anything like that. So it's pretty close, pretty close. I'll just do a quick little highlight maybe. Just blend it right in. Give a little highlight to that. A little highlight right there. We'll just tie it, visually tie it to the spar that it's tied to with using the same color there. It's not terribly important to do that, but it definitely helps. So now you can tell that that is supposed to be one unit, and it kind of sets itself aside, sets itself apart from everything else that's going on right there. So that sets that out. And I'm going to get a little bit of silver tone here. If he finds him, tell him I'm out of honey wheat toast. Oh, nice. We're keeping that chestnut going. I like that. Oh, that's terrific. I appreciate. I tell you, I really appreciate y'all, and I appreciate your senses of humor and everything, and keeping a running gag going through the evening. Oh, I tell you, we do have a good time here in the Pocket Dimension. But we have a good time not because of me, but because of you all. So I appreciate you keeping me company. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your senses of humor. We're going to get a little silver. We're going to put a little metallic on this rusted up sort of a metal, because even rusted metal polishes itself up a little bit whenever it rubs against itself. So just kind of get a little touch, just something to give it a little more definition, where it doesn't blend so much into the brown there. All the places that would typically be points of wear and tear. I really need to fix my lighting situation here. I thought I had it fixed a while ago, but it's still just kind of too much contrast, too much shadow, too much bright. So that is a lot of skulls. It is. But it's GW, so, for GW, I don't think this is enough skulls, quite honestly. I think they need to have more skulls. Let's get a little gold here. It's a bright gold. Let's go with the older gold. Glorious gold. We'll go with the Vallejo Game Color Glorious Gold. Is there any scenery under those skulls? I think the skulls are the scenery. There's the idol that they've chopped into the dwarves' favorite stone here. So there's that, I think. And then there's a door. See, there's a dwarf there's a tied up dwarf figure that I think you're supposed to stick underneath inside there, but I didn't. I just needed this to be, I wanted to put this on a piece of plastic, so I cut down a 60 millimeter base and just thinned it out and sanded it down so that it kind of blends into the ground a little bit better when I get the groundwork done. But I also found that as more I was touching it, I was rubbing off paint, so this also keeps me from touching it. So, but yeah, there is scenery under those skulls. I think the skulls are the scenery. I think. GW being GW, you know. Dear GW, I am writing to complain about the quality of your recent miniatures. I found that my last project was short over 40 skulls. You charged me $60 anyway. I must protest in the strongest of terms. It's not the money, mind you, mostly, but more of an expectation of quality for which you lacked here. Perfect. That's terrific. That's terrific. I love it. I wonder if anybody's actually ever sent a letter like that to them. Obviously, it would be a total troll to do so, which I'm not above. I'm not above supporting trolls that troll GW. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll squeeze out some polished gold as well here. So. Now, I don't know why, but I'm using the same water that I use for my opaques with this metallics, and I'm using actually this is a synthetic brush, but it is a nice synthetic brush. I usually try to use different water when I'm doing metallics, but that particular pot has gone dry on me, so not worried about it. Life hack: if you keep rubbing off paint, just protect the mini with Saran wrap. Oh, that's a good idea. Problem is, I've got to get all over it. So, I was thinking you could use finger cots too. I saw that somebody was using finger cots the other day. So, let's see, dear GW, I think you offer bulk discounts on Screaming Skull, Ushabi Bone, Zandri Dust, considering how much I use when painting skulls on your terrain. Well, see, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. They convince you that you have to paint their skulls. Now, I don't know if there should be a symbol on this shield or not, but we're just gonna play it as it is because they didn't emboss anything on here. But there is a shield on this side, which is probably going to have some blue on it, probably down in these areas. But just using a little bit of a draw pull there, pulling the paint down, making little feathery sorts of not really blends, just kind of letting it build color, kind of in the sort of like they do in graffiti, where it's just, you don't actually blend the colors, you just kind of make the colors do a thing there. Add a little with the silver, lighter, brighter gold here. We'll pick it up just a little bit. Like on the old skateboard decks, a lot of the skateboard deck type graphics were very much influenced by, style-wise, by graffiti. So a lot of methods, if you look at those graphics and you see how shading was done, and like a lot of those methods came from graffiti work. So but you can learn a lot by just looking at art. Not necessarily the high, fine art that you go to a museum to look at, but just everyday art. Just kind of get an idea of what they're doing, how they did it. Break it down in your mind. Study it. Look at little lines. Don't look at the big lines. Don't get overwhelmed by the overall grandiosity of something. Just break it down. Look at one section of it. Don't look at the whole thing. Look at one section of it and see what you can learn from that one section. Learn what their choices might have been. You know, I think sometimes people get so overwhelmed with looking at the whole of the project or the product that they forget how to look at the small parts of it and get ideas and learn that way. Sometimes we see nice, wonderfully painted miniatures and we get overawed by the whole of it. But when we start looking at things and we start seeing the brush strokes and what choices they made, why did they stroke this way, and why is this like this, and is this blended or is this feathered in? I mean, when you start looking at the choices some of your favorite miniature artists make, it will help inform you with your choices of why things are done, not just how things are done. Because how is just you can teach a monkey how to do something, right? You could teach a dog how to do something, but as far as why, only you and I can reason why we do something the way we do it. So look at the choices an artist makes and ask yourself why. Why did they do that? Why did they make that choice? And I think that will help. I know it helps me, but that is really an important thing to do. Is why? Why is that? Why did they do that? Why did they push the paint this way, or why did they make that stroke that way? Why did they go up instead of down? Lots and lots and lots of things to consider. Till you respond and or take action regarding our complaints, I shall be forthwith withholding the monthly mailing of Purity Seal cookies to your offices. Dear DW, I don't see enough skulls on my gaming table. Can you please offer a 4x6 battle mat that is nothing but textured skulls? Oh my. That's great. That is great. Well, I mean, I don't know. Some of you might have seen me doing this earlier, but on this Predator, right here, there's supposed to be a skull and crossbones. I shaved that off. There was supposed to be one there. And I thought about shaving off these as well. I could still do that, but I was taking it back to kind of more of a clean sort of a look. Sort of getting, again, we're getting that cross between the 30K style and the 40K blocky style. So scraping off the skulls, getting rid of skulls would kind of fit right in there. So I'm probably doing some sort of horrible heresy, and the stormtroopers will be coming to pick me up in the morning by scraping off the skulls from a GW product. So, dear customer, we offer a dedicated kit of skulls for only $39.99. Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, I've given a couple of those boxes away on this channel. In fact, and they were $30. It was really weird. 300 skulls for $30. So what is that? 10 cents a pop? Maybe a little bit more than it should be, but at the time it was probably about the best $30 you could spend on a GW product. I mean, there's not too many things I say that about. Most of my stuff that I paint that's GW is things that I've already had for a while or have come into just by chance. Like Primaris, I didn't set out to buy Primaris. Somehow I just wound up having Primaris. Sorry for the cat hair. I don't know where that comes from. Probably from the cat. But so I never set out to have Primaris Space Marines because I like my old style Space Marines. They've served me well for many years. And my Space Wolves are the old style Space Wolves. I'm not buying into the new ones. I might buy into the new ones. Maybe. See, these are Nova Wolves. This is my chapter, Nova Wolves. And so maybe I'll do a Nova Wolves chapter with the Space Wolves kits. Because I like painting orange. So, let's see. You have that box set, still use them from time to time. Yeah. Yeah, that is a good box set. Definitely, for sure. I really need to put that in my terrain stuff because I think I put that on my GW shelf, which is the shelf unit beside the wall. I've got all my shelves on wheels so I can kind of pack them away. So I think I put that. I think I put my box of skulls on my GW set of shelves. So I've got a set of shelves for like 15mm historicals, and I've got a set of shelves for 28mm historicals. I've got a set of shelves for all my fantasy stuff. I've got a set of shelves for the science fiction stuff. I got a set of shelves for all the stuff I've got from Privateer Press. I've got a set of shelves for all the 40K stuff. And so I think maybe that box of skulls might be on my 40K shelf here. So, but you're right, Black Skull. It is very useful, and I need to liberate that and put that in with my terrain stuff. Not a bad idea. So I don't know if that's complete, but it's pretty doggone close to being complete. Brighten up that brass lock a little bit. Let's see. How many of those kits would it take to completely 12 square feet? How many generations of indentured servitude would my descendants require to pay off the incurred debt? Oh, I don't know. Mono says, I wish they would make a set like the skulls, but just with individual nurglings. That could be pretty neat. I wish they would do one with individual, well, yeah, individual Necron scarabs. The box is in the same place since my 10 bags of skulls from the now defunct secret weapon. Oh, yeah. Well, did Elric's Hobby bring back the skulls, the bag of skulls? Speaking of P3, I'm using Reaper Cranberry Red right now. That really reminds me of P3 Bootstrap Leather. Yeah, actually, one of my local hobby stores just got in the new P3 rack. So I don't know if I want to invest in that. I've got P3 paints already. I've got a few of them for my K-Door. So I don't know if I really want to. I mean, they don't have the old flip tops. They're in they're in dropper bottles, and I was really hoping they'd have the flip tops, because if I'm gonna have privateer, or I'm gonna have P3, I want all my P3 paints to match. I don't want some of them in flip tops and some of them in dropper bottles. I'm just weird that way, I guess. But then again, do I really need any more paint? If you saw Wargamer Girls stream a couple months ago after I got back from Adepticon, uh, it looks like I live in a paint factory. I'd like to make a small square and build a silicone cast if I was looking to cover 12 square feet. Yeah, that'd probably be a good way to do it. Probably be a good way to do it. All right, folks. Well, that is, I think we made most of the good progress here on this, and that's almost done, aside from maybe a couple of dashes of blue. I think Thursday we'll probably go ahead and texture the base and all. And yeah, so we'll get that out of the way. Hopefully I will have remedied the issue with these las cannon flash shrouds. Change those over to those, which I meant to do before I glued it onto the tank. But I had a momentary lapse of ADHD, I guess, and I was going faster than I should have been going. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, so that is going to be another fight for another day. So it is now almost 11 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to raid out. So thank you all for being here. And let's see, put on the old title screen as we do, because it is the end of the show. Title screen, come on. All right. And so we're going to say good night to